Good afternoon and welcome to the West Ham Voice and a little bit of an update on some transfer news. And I'm going to focus just on the midfield because it looks like with just 7 days to go, David Moyes has yet to finish his business in the transfer market. And there seems to be one final bit of the jigsaw that he wants to put in place. And that, of course, is the central midfield role. We've got a left back in, we've got central defenders in, we've re-signed Areola on a permanent basis and so on. And now we've got a striker as well. And now it just looks like that final piece there in midfield, probably attacking midfield, is what David Moyes thinks we need in order to have a complete squad for the season ahead, or the season that's already started. And they usually say you leave the best till last. And if one of the signings comes off, then in Lucas Paqueta, I think everyone would agree that that would be quite a major coup for West Ham United. An absolutely excellent player. And I'm going to go through his details in a moment. And also the other player that we're linked to quite heavily is, of course, Hans Vanaken of FC from Club Bruges. So I'm going to talk a little bit about him as well. Now, there are a number of midfielders that we've been linked with throughout the whole summer. There's still a hope that if someone like Paqueta doesn't come off, or Vanaken, then there's still a hope for Conor Gallagher to come in. But we think that Gallagher is quite settled. Even though he's not getting an awful lot of game time at Chelsea, he is being considered in the main team. But let's focus on Vanaken and Paqueta because, both very interesting players, completely different contrasts, very different playing styles. But as I said, something that we're lacking at the moment in our squad is a lack of creative midfielders, someone that can make things happen. We have them, but it's just not clicking for them at the moment. Look, it's not a secret. Moyes has talked about both players in his press conferences, which is really, really unusual for David Moyes, to be quite honest with you. You normally get, when he's asked about players, his stance is usually, I don't talk about players from other clubs unless they're, they've signed for West Ham United, etc. But very interesting that in his press conference for the Viborg game, he talked about both. He talked, he confirmed that we had actually put a bid in for Paqueta, and he also confirmed that we were interested in Vanaken as well. Look, with regards to Vanaken, let's start off with him. First of all, because one of the things that we're sort of hearing is that Club Bruges are kind of trying to hold on to their talisman. And I'm going to go through his details in a minute because you can totally understand why they would want to. He is their talisman. He's been with the club for a number of years. Apparently, we only put in a bid of just under £9 million with about £1 million, £1.5 million as extras. And Bruges have come back and said, no, if you want him, we don't want an awful lot more money for him. And also, they said that they need to sign a replacement for him as well. And apparently they put in a bid in for Fenerbahce's midfielder, Mihar Zach. But they don't believe that will be accepted. So there are two issues there with Vanaken. First of all, it's the price. And if West Ham can match the price, then absolutely they might be interested in selling him. But at the same time, they also want to get a replacement in for him as well. Let's have a look at a bit of his details. 6'5". People are saying, oh, he's just a replacement for Souček, just a Souček Mark II. There's an awful lot more to this player than meets the eye, to be honest with you. He's regarded as one of the best footballers in the Belgian league. He has been for a number of years. He's won the Golden Boot twice in 2018 and 19. And he's a prolific goal scorer, and I'm going to get to his stats in a minute. But he's been asked over the last couple of seasons, he's been asked to play a bit of a different role. Not so much deeper, but a bit more of a playmaker in midfield and someone who can control the midfield. In the past, you'd probably regard him as a number 10, like a second striker. But now he's playing just a little bit deeper. Someone that will probably play alongside Declan if we buy him. And by that, being a central midfield playmaker, he controls the flow of the game, and he sort of controls it from the center of the park. He's a captain. He's the captain of the club. He's the sort of goals he scores are quite different. He scores an awful lot just inside the 18-yard box, as if he makes quite late runs and it's cut back to him to score. He's got a good strike on him. He can score from outside the box as well. He's their penalty taker. He's their set piece taker as well. So he's quite, even though he's just turned 30 years of age, he's a player that they're still relying on quite a lot, Club Brugge, and they don't want to let him go because they see him as the player that can keep them at the top of their league in Belgium. Getting them into Champions League, etc. So it's no wonder that they don't want him to go. Last season, he made 50 appearances in total, of which he started 46. And for someone that is no longer their prolific attacking midfielder, he still scored 15 goals and assisted in 12. His average game last season, he made over 2,000 pass attempts, a pass success rate of 87%, a shot accuracy rate of just over 55%. He's created 59 chances in those 50 games that he played. So that's averaging over one chance per game. His take on success rate is 59%. In his ground duel success is 50. I could have added in his aerial duel success rate as well, which was quite high. His career stats to date, he averages a goal every 3 games and he averages an assist in every 5. That's not bad. Not bad at all. What else do we know about him? Well, what about his injury record? That's it. The only time he's been out throughout his career is when he caught the coronavirus in 2020-21 season, but he didn't miss any games. He literally is injury free. Well, you know what will happen, don't you? He'll come to West Ham United, and the same as what happened to Aged, he'll play a game and he'll be out for half a season or something. No, it won't happen. It won't happen. But that's an amazing lack of injury record there. Who is he and what is it? And, etc. Born on the 25th of August, 92. I just said he just turned 30. He was born in Pelt in Belgium. He started his career youth development at PSV. Well, he actually started at Lamel, and then he went back, and then he went to PSV, and then went back to Lamel United again. He was with PSV for 6 years, from the age of 10. Before moving to Lamel United, which is a second division team, or was then a second division team in Belgium. And then he got his early career. He got his senior career at Lamel. He made 86 appearances for them, scoring 21 goals with 10 assists. And at the time, in the second division of the Belgian league, his performances, his goal scoring, his assists, etc., caught the eye of a number of major Belgian clubs. He was signed to Lokeren in 2013, and he stayed with them for 2 years. He made 92 appearances for the club, scoring 22 goals and 21 assists. So his prolific goal scoring and his assist record was maintained. Lokeren paid £158,000 for the player, and he made his senior career debut in 2013 when he scored 2 goals in the 3-2 win over Anderlecht at that time. And he was instrumental in 2013-14 season in getting the club to reach the Belgian Cup final as well. In 2015, Club Brugge came along and they paid £4 million for the player. And look at that that ratio. 344 career games for the club, 102 goals and 73 assists. I said he's talismanic. He's their captain. He's a prolific goal scorer, a prolific goal creator. And as I said again, with his new role, that doesn't seem to have dampened his ability to put the ball in the back of the net and to create more goals. He's a Belgian international as well. He's made 21 appearances for Belgium, scoring 5 goals and 6 assists. He represented Belgium at under 20 and under 21 level, and he made his senior debut in 2018. And he scored his first goals in the World Cup qualifier last year in 2021 against Belarus. Honours. He's been a Belgian champion 5 times, Belgian Super Cup winner 4 times, Belgian Cup winner 1 time, Footballer of the Year twice, Belgian Golden Boot winner twice. He's prolific in the Belgium League without a shadow of a doubt. So that's him. And West Ham want to, apparently the The Belgian Club Brugge are expecting us to make a substantial increase in an offer if we want him. They want at least double the money that we've offered already. So they want around about 15, 16 million pounds for the player. Whether we're going to go back in for him or not remains to be seen, or whether we're going to concentrate on Paqueta will also remain to be seen. People have asked, is it possible that we'll get both? I think we're being greedy, but no, it's going to be either or. And like I said, there's quite a big contrast between the two. So let's move on to Paqueta and give you a little bit of detail about him as well. Paqueta, he's 24 years of age. Let's bring the stat up. Put that up. There we go. Paqueta, 24 years of age, 6 foot, operates best from the right of a midfield. Versatile midfielder. He can play, as David Moyes has said in the press conference, he can play as a number 8, a number 10, and false number 9. Creative midfielder, well-rounded player with great positional awareness and fantastic ball dribbler. Last season's stats, he made 44 appearances for Lyon. Of which were 37 starts, scoring 11 goals with 7 assists. Pass attempts, not as high as Vanaken, but 1,500 pass attempts with a decent pass success rate of 80%, a higher shot accuracy rate of 57% than Vanaken. He created 41 chances, which again averages almost just under a chance per game. Take on success, 68%, and ground duel success at 51%. Now, he's had a couple of injuries, but nothing to be really sort of serious, nothing to be concerned about. In 2018-19, he had a distortion of his ankle. He missed 1 game. And then in 19-20 season, he had a thigh injury, which made him miss 3 games. So again, nothing really too serious. Born on the 27th of August, 1997 in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. He'd just be turning 25 within the next few days. Youth development. He started at Flamengo Youth Development in 2007 and joined them at the age of 10. He was with them for just under 10 years. By the age of 15, he was technically skilled, but did not have the physicality. He was quite short. But within the 3 years, he had a growth spurt. And he started to play more regularly for the youth team. And he was part of the youth team that won the 2016 Copa Sao Paulo, which is quite a prestigious youth tournament in Brazil. His early career for Flamengo, 2016 to 2019, he made 65 appearances, scoring 13 goals with 5 assists. He was awarded a senior contract in 2020 and made his senior debut at the age of 19. In 2018, he was the only Flamengo player selected for the team of Campeonato Carioca, which is a collection of the best young players in Brazil. AC Milan spotted the player and they came calling in 2019, January 2019. He made 44 appearances for them, scoring 1 goal and only 3 assists. He didn't settle in Italy, and when he was interviewed last year, he had an interview with French TV. He talked about his time in Italy, and he talked about how it was struggle. It was quite a big struggle for him to move to another country. He felt the pressure of the fee. They paid 35 million pounds for him. He felt quite a lot of pressure on that, and he didn't have anyone around him to sort of get him through that. The lack of friends around him, etc., made him feel quite isolated, and he was finding it difficult. And also, he was finding it quite difficult with the formation that AC Milan were playing at the time. He didn't know where he fitted in. He wasn't quite a defensive midfielder. He wasn't quite an attacker, etc. at the time. He didn't know in the formation that he was playing in where he fitted in. And it was decided that it was best for him to move on. And he did indeed. In September 2020, Lyon came calling, and they paid a fee of not 290. It was a fee of 20 million pounds. My apologies for the error there. 290 million. They signed him for a fee of 20 million pounds. But Milan added a 15% sell-on clause. So if we do manage to buy him for the fee that was being discussed at the moment, Milan are going to get quite a sizable chunk of money back for the outlay that they paid for him of £35 million. He's made 80 appearances so far for Lyon, scoring 21 goals and 14 assists. He's certainly been his form again has been refound. He's been flourishing, and that's because one of the things that his coach did in Lyon is he changed the formation in order to suit the player. He's changed it to a 4-3-3. He usually plays on the right side of the three. And that formation has helped the player to sort of get better. He knows his role. He knows exactly how to play within that formation, and he's flourished under it. Now, whether David Moyes would do the same thing for him, I don't know if we do buy him. He's a Brazilian international. He's made 33 appearances so far, scoring 7 goals with 1 assist. He's also represented Brazil under 20 at under 20 level, and he made his senior debut in 2018. In 2021, with Brazil struggling, he helped them to reach the Copa America final, scoring the winning goal in the quarterfinal and the goal with an assist in the semi-final. Honors. They won the Copa America in 2018 and 19. And this is he's an interesting player. We've put in a bid for him of £34 million. Apparently, that bid was turned down. Apparently, he's also been offered to quite a number. Lyon are looking to move him on. Lyon have got a replacement already, and he's been offered to quite a number of teams around the Premier League. He wants to play Premier League football, and there are a number of teams interested. We've heard that Arsenal had quite an interest in the player for quite some time. Apparently, Newcastle are looking at him as well, and various other teams, and Spurs apparently as well. But at this moment in time, the only club that seems to be negotiating with Lyon is West Ham United. The £34 million plus add-ons of around £8 million was initially turned down, but apparently we're back in. Lyon want something like £50 million for him, £60 million euro, about £54 million, £60 million euros. And we've gone in with a bigger bid. Apparently our bid at the moment is anything between 45 to 50 million pounds. And there's a lot of, it's still 50-50. And we know with these deals, anything could happen. You know, it could all go wrong. Other teams could come in and snatch him from under us at any moment. But at this moment in time, we're the only club that's negotiating with Lyon and the player himself. And if there's a difference of only something like £6 to £8 million between what Lyon are expecting and what we've offered the latest offer, I think some agreement can come from that. He'll be a fantastic player. I mean, you know, his skill, his versatility, the way he plays the game. You know, even though he's an attacking midfielder, he can also play quite well defensively, and he drops back, he helps his team out, and he'll be just the sort of thing that David Moyes will want. Now, look, that means if we get one of these attacking players in, there's an awful lot of talk about what may happen with one or two of our players in the current squad. Oh, by the way, let me just go to the squad, because if we get, I mean, I've put both Vanaken and Paqueta in there. We're not getting both. It's going to be either or. But if we get those one of those two players, that means we end up having a 23-man squad. And look at the quality there now. Look. It would mean if we get Paqueta for £50 million, it would mean that our net spend throughout this summer is something in the region of about £173 million, which is quite phenomenal for West Ham United. Look at the squad now. You know, we've got the 3 keepers, as we already know. We've got competition on the right side between Ben Johnson and Soufal. In the middle, when all the players are back, we're going to have up to 5 central defenders. But I've got a feeling that when all our central defenders are back, it's quite possible that Kera could actually start playing right back. And now on the left side, we've got Creswell and we've got Emerson. And then in the middle of the park, it could be between Downs, Souček, if we get Vanaken and Rice, and then out on the wide side, I've kind of put Cornet as a sort of a wing back sort of role. And then if we get Paqueta, you can see in the middle of the park, we've got Fornals, Lanzini, Paqueta himself, Benrahma there as well, and Bowen. And then up front, of course, Scamacca and Antonio. Now, I've just mentioned, if we get Paqueta in, or I think more Paqueta than anyone else, if we get Paqueta in, could it mean the end for one of our attacking midfielders, possibly Lanzini and Benrahma? There's talk. There has been talk for quite some time that David Moyes may look to sell Benrahma, but there's now speculation with Lanzini in the last year of his contract, and I know he's got an extension clause within that. But in the current last year of his contract, there's talk about quite possibly that we might see him go as well. So if anything develops from that, I'll let you know. But the squad, all of a sudden, looks quite decent and quite healthy, doesn't it? You know, I know there's 24 players there, but it's going to be either Vanaken or it's going to be Paqueta, and that means we'll have a 23-man squad. Now, people are going to say it's still not enough, but the quality there is quite different now, isn't it? You know, David Moyes has got, you know, he's got cover for left back. He's got enough centre backs in as well. He's got cover at right back. He's got enough cover there in central midfield. He's got plenty of opportunities and options up front. You know, Cornet himself can play up front. He can play wing back, and we know he can play left back as well. But I think he'll be played more as an attacking player. And Cornet also can play on the right side of midfield, and he can cover for Bowen as well. So there's quite a lot of there are quite a lot of options there, and all of a sudden our squad will look a lot healthier than it has done from last season, as well as this season as well. So that's the update. It looks like the bidding for Paqueta is real. Well, it is real. David Moyes has confirmed it, and it looks like we've gone back in with a bigger offer, and it looks like we may not be that far away from agreeing a deal with Lyon in order to get this over the line. Thank you for joining me. Any other updates? Of course, I'll let you know. It's the game against Viborg tonight, the second round of the playoff, and I'll be looking at doing some kind of review of the game. If not after, then certainly on Friday morning. Thank you all for joining me. By the way, if you want to watch a preview of the Viborg game, do go into my back catalogue of videos. I interviewed the CEO of Viborg. Fantastic interview, as well as Fleming, one of our Danish hammers as well. So do go and look for that as well, which is quite an interesting interview. It was, and a bit of a preview of the game that's coming up. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe and the like and the bell notification to let you know when I'm next on. Thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you all very soon.